audience out there. This is Leigh with Coda Country, and today's episode's a little different. So, on Coda Country Chats today, we have our special guest, Mr. Brenden Gerity. How are you today, Brenden?
I am wonderful. How are you doing?
I'm doing so great. So, listen, to every audience member out there right now, if you haven't heard of the name Brenden, it may be because you're more familiar with his social media presence and TikTok handle. Brenden, will you do me a favor and just share your social media handle with us, TikTok information? How can we find you?
Yeah, TikTok's going to be BG54 with an underscore. I really want a BG54, but the guy who has it doesn't post anything. So I'm like, do I report him? Is it weird to report him and try to steal his name? But I won't. I won't stoop that low. Um, Instagram is BG.54 with an underscore because the same guy has it and doesn't post anything either. And he's really, I think it's in spite of me. I'm going to be honest with you.
Maybe just to ruin your life. Wow, that's terrible.
It's got
But
to be.
hey, okay, so now we know how to find you. So Brenden and I met audience members out there. Just a little FYI. We met through TikTok. I'm pretty sure I liked one of his posts because we make similar content, and he currently has 83,000 followers on TikTok right now. So he's like one of the ringleaders in the country music content game, I would say. Um,
Eh.
tell me, tell me how you got started in all of this. Like, how did you? I don't know.
So
Tell me how this all came to be.
essentially, it was back in 2018. Um, TikTok had just switched over from Musically or whatever it was before, and I was in college at the time, and me and my roommate Stevo, we had a Brita filter in our dorm room, and Stevo never filled up the Brita filter, and daily I would scream at him to fill up the Brita, and well, but not so nicely. And I would post it on my Snapchat, and people loved it. They thought it was the funniest thing that, it was the best part of their day. So I downloaded TikTok. I'm like, oh, let me start posting stuff about me and Steve-O and the Brita, which gained no traction at all. I guess people on TikTok didn't find it funny. And then Trevor Wallace did it like a year later, and everybody loved it. So
Oh my god!
smarter than Trevor Wallace. That's what I'm saying. If you
Right,
don't
you're a
know,
trendsetter for sure.
yeah, comedian, TikTok, he's great. Um, and then I posted my first country video. It was oh man, what's the song? It's on the tip of my tongue. Kinda wanna thank him, but I kinda wanna knock him. Man, that was the first one I did. I had like terrible effects in there and everything, and that picked up like 5,000 views on the first rep, and I'm like, all right, see where it goes. So
Okay.
just started posting basically whenever my friends would be getting ready to go out, on a bar night or something like that at college. I'd lock myself in my room and hide. I'd just tell them I'm doing homework or something, and really I'm just lip syncing in my room because I was embarrassed about it for the longest time.
No, oh my
Still,
gosh.
still a little bit, but you know what? We kind of own it at this point. But yeah, so we transitioned very quickly from yelling at somebody over the Brita to country music, and then it wasn't until um, probably some point last year where I was like, I got this platform. I really like, I would say, underground, if you could say that, country music
Mhm.
artists, and kind of shifted my focus towards that, which is where I'm basically at now.
Right. So with the shift in you like only doing lip sync videos to, going to different shows, recording different artists, showing off, how many great artists there are out there. How do you come in contact with all these really great artists? Like, how do you find whoever you want to promote?
I mean, it basically just comes off of whoever I'm listening to. I find a lot of them through TikTok, and I'm kind of, yeah, I have the algorithm set up so that it shows me mostly country music content, um, and other stuff, but that's just TikTok for you. Other than that, like the Country Central, New Music Fridays, stuff like that, like
Mm-hmm.
the more underlying artists, recently, like guys like Josiah Siska, who I started listening to, has popped up on there, and basically just looking at like new boots and just those new and upcomers is that where I'm finding everybody basically.
Yeah, for sure. Um, and shout out to Country Central. I feel like they do the Lord's work every day. just like showing us new artists and putting out good news and stuff that we
Hmm.
can follow along with, right? So I know that you and I have talked a lot about, you know, the future of country music and ways that we wish we could like be involved. And I don't even know if this is like something
Hmm.
that you'd like to divulge on this podcast today, but like if you had a dream setup in the country music world, how would you be involved? Like what would you be doing?
I guess in like a promoter sense, kind of, because um, the world of like management and stuff like that. Like it seems like a tough job. You're on the road and stuff like that. So just almost kind of what I'm doing now with promoting, I guess you could say. But like, being able to meet these guys and get to know them, and then be able to push their music the way I'm still doing it, but get paid a little more to do so.
Yeah,
That'd be the
it's
best.
kind of
That'd be the
nice,
best
right?
scenario.
Having a paycheck.
Yeah.
Well, and so, well, and then, okay. So you do a lot with country music on your platform. And I'm going to just like have you talk a little bit about like your personal life, I would say. Um, but that's not your job because what you
Hmm.
do is, very different. So could you tell our listeners about that?
Yeah. I'm in law enforcement. That's my real job, my big boy job. Um, and I actually kind of find it to be like uh, helpful towards this platform and stuff like that because I sit in a car for 12 hours a day. So I have nothing else to do except for drive around, listen to music. Hey, I like this guy. Let me check out his music. So I get to do a deep dive on a lot of people.
Yeah.
Listen to a lot of podcasts, Ray's Rowdy, Trey Lewis's podcast, all stuff like that I'm listening to. Um,
Mhm.
so really gives me a chance to like sit down and listen to, people more in depth than just if I'm sitting at a desk job all day.
But I will say, like, obviously, I thank you so much for doing that because it's your job is not for the faint of heart. I could not do it. I will just say that flat out. There's no way. Um, okay, so we talked a little bit about underground artists, and you named a couple off here and there. Um, who would you say are like some of your favorite artists that people may know, people may not know? Um, go into that a little bit and tell me who else we should be listening to.
Yeah, I mean, well, first of all, this new Muscadine Bloodline album is unbelievable,
Top
unbelievable.
notch, absolutely,
I
yeah.
might get you into trouble here, but it's far and away better than the Morgan Wallen album. I'll tell you that right now.
Oof.
Love,
Hot take. Okay,
love,
good to know.
love me some MW, but like the older MW. Other than that,
I get that.
my
Yeah.
favorite guy right now, Dylan Carmichael. Um,
Hmm.
he is the descendant of um, Montgomery Gentry. He's Eddie Montgomery's nephew, which I think is super cool.
That is
I
cool.
drove an hour and a half. I got to meet him over in Pennsylvania. Cool dude, super awesome guy. And he remembered me from a previous show, which I thought blew my mind because he is like my favorite guy by far. Other than that, Daniel E. Johnson, and
Hmm.
the E in there is very important because there's another Daniel Johnson in music, so he's got to keep the E. Um,
The E. Yeah.
He's got great music out there. I've been listening to him since 2020, and we had just recently connected over TikTok. Be meeting up with him when I go down to Nashville in a couple of weeks, which is a whole nother animal.
Oh yeah.
Tyler Braden, phenomenal voice, former firefighter, great dude. Same place as Dylan Carmichael. I got to see him, got to meet him. Um, Man, I listen to so many people throughout the day. Josiah Siska was
Yeah.
somebody I just found who blew my mind. That the deep voice. I thought, I think it was on a Country Central playlist that I heard his first song, and it was "Be Careful with That Song." I'm listening to this guy's voice. I'm like, dude, he's got to be like 60 years old. Like he's got that deep, super deep voice. And then I see him, and I'm like, oh my god, we're the same age, I think. But stuff like
Mhm.
that. Um, who else am I thinking of? Oh my god, Jade Eagleson.
Yeah. Yeah.
Canadian country
Hmm.
artist. Oh my God, don't even get me started. He's got that deep voice. And, apparently, I'm a sucker for deep
Yeah.
voices. But Drake White is another one. Like this is the good thing about going on a podcast is because when I sit my friends down in the car and I talk about country music, they can't wait for me to shut up. And now people have no choice but to listen to me. So this is great.
That's right. Yeah.
This is
That's
great.
why we had you on. I needed to know. I wanted to know what you like. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I have a couple of playlists, Apple Music and Spotify. Um, they're all like BG54 on TikTok, and then I have a whole bunch of different ones. The if you don't know, these here, I bet you don't know these
Mhm.
is one of them, or the If You Like series, which plays off of my TikTok playlist. I got a whole bunch of just new and different artists that you wouldn't hear normally.
Yeah, that's cool. And you've definitely already showed me to a couple of artists, some that I've had on the podcast recently too. So, like, thank you for that, first of all.
Riley Keegan,
I
absolutely.
know that episode is dropping tomorrow, so that'll be really cool. Um, okay, so when you were just describing your artists' favorites, you talked about Daniel E. Johnson and how you're meeting up with him in Nashville. And I know this, and now the listeners are going to know that this is going to be your first time visiting Nashville, right? Um,
Yes, yes, it is.
so, but you have a funny story about that, right? You want to tell that story for sure.
Yeah, yeah. So we'll play off that, and we'll also get into like how I got into country music, which is another funny
Yeah,
story.
yeah.
But in getting into Nashville, a couple of weeks ago, my mom approached me. Um, it's her and my father's 30th wedding anniversary, April 3rd. So she was like, "Hey, listen, like we really want to go to Nashville. Like, do you mind booking a room and a flight for me and your dad? Because I'm like the travel guru for the family." Yeah, sure, no problem. So I go in, find the Drury downtown, beautiful hotel. They're going April 3rd to the 7th. Get the plane tickets, everything. And I'm like, all right, mom, we're all good to go. She's like, okay, here's my credit card. Pay for everything. And she's like, hey, I'm looking at my statement here, and there's an extra room and an extra plane ticket. Like, well, what's going on here? I'm like, well, because you're not going to Nashville without me. Like, listen, you guys go. You do your romantic stuff. You have fun. I'm gonna go get my own room and be a country music degenerate, right? My brother's flying up from Jacksonville. He's gonna meet us there, and I'm like, listen, I will see you for, I would say breakfast, but more likely brunch,
Right.
maybe lunch.
Yeah, yeah. That
See you for brunch.
late brunch. Yeah.
Maybe see you for dinner. Other than that, I'll text you if I'm in jail. We'll see you guys around. So yeah, it's super exciting. I've been in contact. Daniel E. Johnson, we got some cool stuff coming up from me and him.
Mhm.
I'll be meeting up with a couple other guys. Carrie Deal, who just dropped a new song called "Nice Guy," which is got this heavy driving guitar, which is like something I love.
Yeah.
Riley Keegan, somebody I'm hoping to meet up with while we're down there.
Yeah.
But these guys are musicians. They're playing shows, they're busy, so it's just cool knowing that I can pop down there and meet up with some of these guys.
Yeah. So, okay, wait, we're gonna back up just a little bit. Before we started talking about your Nashville trip, you said something about how you got started in country music. So, tell me about that, and then I'm gonna like go back and bounce back to Nashville, and we'll just hit all the spots.
Yeah, we'll bounce around. We'll figure it out because that's how my brain feels currently.
Me too. Me too.
So when I was younger,
Mhm.
we lived in basically the suburbs, kind of like just outside the city area. And growing up, I always remember listening to my mom played like Dirk Bentley and Toby Keith and stuff like that on the back deck while we're doing whatever. And then we moved into a more wooded area. I got into my kind of rebellious kid area or era where I was listening to like Nickelback and Lil Wayne, Linkin Park, Eminem. I'm like, screw country music. It's stupid. Trucks and girls. Bleh. And then I was so anti country music. I didn't want to hear anything about it. Which now there's this whole thing going around that Nickelback might be like closet country. I don't know if you heard the whole thing where like he plays rock star with like a southern accent, and it's a straight up country song.
Oh my god.
Anyway, anyway, so Bon Jovi stuff like that growing up, but we went to go visit my grandparents down in Florida. We didn't feel like flying, so we drove down. So my mom said, "Listen, I'm driving. I choose the music. I got nothing but 24 hours of straight country music." Florida, and this is in the my golden age, I'd say 2010-ish with like the really good Florida Georgia line,
Right.
the really good Luke Bryan, like
Uh-huh.
my two favorite songs of all time, just because this is what my best memories of hanging out with mom. What Was I Thinking by Dirk Bentley,
Yes.
and oh god, my brain is so jumbled. What Was I Thinking, and it'll come back to me later.
Okay, we'll come back. We'll
Yep,
bounce back. Yeah.
yep. But yeah, no, basically I was Drake Milligan. I'm sorry, I got the playlist going on in the background here
Oh
on my
yeah.
TV. So artists are gonna jump up, and I'm gonna just either start head bobbing randomly, or I'm gonna jump in and say, "Oh my God, this guy, Drake Milligan, America's Got Talent. Oh my God,
Amazing.
so good."
Yes.
How Am I Doing by Dirk Bentley. That's the other one.
Oh, okay, great. Yeah, yeah,
There
yeah.
it is. That's it. I just had to change topics real quick, and then so basically, I was beaten into submission by country music,
Yeah.
and here I am, like way deep, but you know, I guess the mainstream of it kind of wore out on me. Like,
Mm-hmm.
don't get me wrong, like the old Florida Georgia Line, the old Luke Bryan, like I like that. But as time went on, as I started listening to the more mainstream stuff, it just didn't do it for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I always kind of found like those people as they were coming up, like Hardy's, he was coming up. Morgan Wallen when he was opening up for Kenny Chesney at MetLife Stadium.
Mm-hmm.
Like um, Jameson Rogers. I remember we were down in, I think we drove down to Philly, me and my brother, and it was to see Luke Combs, Morgan Wallen, Jameson Rogers,
Yeah.
and we were
I
late
saw
getting to
that
the
show too.
concert.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, were you down there?
No, not in Philly. I actually saw that
Oh,
show
okay.
in Nashville. So, like
Oh,
on that
okay.
tour
Yeah,
set before COVID. Yeah, yeah,
yeah. So we had just missed Jameson Rogers, and we got there for Morgan Wallen, and this is before anybody knew who he was. Like I've seen Morgan Wallen at least 5 times already. So with the stadium shows coming out, like I would love to see him again, but at the same time, I don't want to drop $500 on a ticket for the nosebleeds.
Oh,
But
honey.
yeah, so we were out in Philly. Morgan was opening for Luke Combs, and he's playing his songs, and I'm up, I'm dancing, I'm singing, I'm having a great time. I'm looking around, and nobody knew who he was yet, right? Everybody was just starting to understand who Luke Combs was, but nobody knew Morgan Wallen. So I'm looking at the people behind me. I'm like, guys, I'm so sorry. Like, do you want me to sit down? They're like, no, you're having the time of your life. Like, please keep having fun, stuff like that. So, it's always kind of been there, but it's just never been concentrated on, the way I'm doing things now.
Awesome. Well, I don't know. I always find it interesting, like how country music kind of ropes people back in,
Mhm.
like especially if they've gone away for a little while. There's something about it.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's like the relatability or I
You
don't
know,
know, but I'm with you,
yeah,
brother.
it's part of it. I like a lot of country music with rock influence, and it went away for a little bit, I think, and now obviously Hardy's bringing it back, and you find that's what's pulling a lot of people back in, and that's something I always like loved. Like when Hardy would just tease those little like hard guitar riffs, or like Brantley Gilbert growing up
Mm-hmm.
was probably my favorite country artist for the longest time, and still is. He's one of the best concerts I've ever been to. If you ever have the chance, like I saw him Atlantic City on the beach, and the fire, the fireworks, the showmanship, like the man, he touched my hand. I didn't wash it for a whole day. So excited. My girlfriend at the time, like we paid like $70 to get as close like to the stage as we could. It was like general admission.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we got up there, and like I reached up, he touched my hand, and she's like, "Can you lift me up and like try to get him to touch my hand?" I'm like, "No, this is my thing.
It's my
This is
hand.
my thing. I'm excited."
And that's how you knew it was going to work out, right? Because you were like,
Yeah. Oh,
my hand, not
yep,
yours.
yep, yep. That definitely ended very well.
I feel like that's another podcast in the making.
Oh
Okay,
my
all
God.
right.
I started a little
Let me go
series on
back.
that. We could,
I
how much time do you got? Anyway, country music, country music.
no, no. I promise we'll save that one for a couple more podcasts down the road. So okay, let's go back. Let's go back. I'm gonna segue with Dirk Bentley because one of the first times that I was in Nashville, and this was back when I was like, I may have still been in high school. Like, yeah, I saw Dirk Bentley like walking into the Country Music Hall of Fame. He was like going to record something. Um, and so when you brought up that name, I was like, huh, because there's no telling who you're going to see walking in and out of venues down the
Hmm.
streets anywhere in Nashville. And maybe that's one of the like cool things about when you go there. Like I'm telling you, there's so much stuff that you're just going to like happen to walk into that you're like, this is
Yeah.
amazing. So, knowing that, what are you looking forward to the most? I would say whenever you get there.
Yes. All of it. All of
Yeah.
it. We got some plans of what we want to do. When we fly in on Monday, we're gonna have some time to kill before we can check in. So we'll probably hit the Country Music Hall of Fame that day.
Mm-hmm.
Tuesday night, Matt Stell and George Burge are playing at Third and Lindsley. So
Yep.
I told
Perfect.
mom and dad, I'm like, listen, if you guys want to, I got to buy tickets for that today. Thank you for reminding me. They're all
Yes, you
they're all
reminded
general admission.
yourself. Yeah. Okay.
So
Yeah.
go to that show, and then basically after that ends, we'll just figure it out as we get there. Wednesday, I'm doing the filming with Daniel. And then afterwards, he's like, let's go get some drinks, stuff like that. I got a plan now, but I think as I get down there, it's just going to be like, who knows? Who knows what's going to happen?
No. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited. My
I
mom's
would
like,
say,
don't split off from me
yeah.
too far, because if you know all the cool places, if you see anybody, I want to see them. And I'm like, I just go on Pinterest a lot. I
Yeah.
just go on Pinterest and TikTok and look up the 15 things you got to do in Nashville type of deal.
Exactly. And a lot of them are the same. Like you got to tour the Country Music Hall of Fame, tour the Ryman.
Yeah, the Ryman,
walk
the
across the
Opry,
bridge.
obviously super important.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
I feel like the 5 days I have there is more than enough, but also not enough at the same time. It's more than enough for my liver, but not enough for my love of country music.
Yeah, exactly. It's gonna be the perfect place for you to be. Okay, I will say this is just me doing like a little selfless promotion for a place that I love. You gotta hit Whiskey Jam either Monday or Thursday.
I
That's
was
like the
looking that
only
up.
time to do it. Yeah, definitely go see Whiskey Jam. I don't know. They don't drop the lineups until like 2 days before, so you don't know who's gonna play. But like every time I've been, all of the lineups are stellar. They have like at least 6 to 8 artists a night. That's one of those you got to just be there to see it. The last time I was there, I saw Chris Young and Michael Ray both perform.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like the same night, and it was for someone's birthday. I don't even remember who. I probably should know. Oh God. But yeah, so it was like for a birthday performance. Like I said, you're never gonna like believe who you're just gonna see singing, playing,
I'm
whatever.
beyond excited. And the thing about being, the type that I am with country music, is I'll be walking down the street and I might see somebody that I know that nobody else knows.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Somebody might think they're just like, I think it's busking or whatever. They're playing on the corner. They're playing their guitar. They'll be like, oh, look at this guy just trying to get money. I'm like, oh no, I know this guy. Like, he's great. When I bring my friends to country music festivals, they hate going to festivals with me because we'll be main stage, and then I'm like, oh, this guy. We're going running back to the side stage, and then we're running back to the main stage, and we're running back to I just drag them back and forth to the point where they're like, you know what? You go alone. You do your thing, and like,
we'll hold your spot.
Listen,
yeah.
I'm the type, I will go to a concert on my own. The Dylan Carmichael show, I went by myself. My friends backed out last second. They had something going on. And they're like, oh, we're not going to make it. Are you still going to go? I'm like, yeah. Like, I will. And I made friends that night to a really nice couple. They were great. They hung out with me the whole time. I don't know if they felt bad for me or not, but like, listen, I was talking with, well, not talking, but like in the comment section with Jay Eagleson the other day. And he put out a tour, and I'm like, dude, please come down to New Jersey. He's Canadian country. Yeah. So everything he does is really up in Canada. He's like, the closest I'll get is to Ontario. I'm like, dude, I will get my passport and I will drive up myself. I don't care. The closest Dylan Carmichael's going to be is Ohio to me, which is about a 9-hour drive. I'll take a flight. I don't care. I will go at great lengths for like artists that I really like.
Yeah, a true fan. That's awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess it's probably about that time, because I feel like we all have a ton to talk about the next time we have another podcast together. I guess I'm excited to see what you get into whenever you go to Nashville and all that. So, yeah, you'll have to keep me posted and see how things go.
Yeah, I know me and my brother plan to get into a lot of debauchery. I know we're going to find a karaoke bar somewhere, and we are going to absolutely ruin our reputation down there. I know that for a fact. If you're walking down the streets in Nashville and you hear I Want It That Way by the Backstreet Boys, that's probably me.
Perfect.
That's probably where
I'm
I'm at.
Gosh, your go-to karaoke song.
Oh,
I love
100%.
That.
Either that or it's Online by Brad Paisley.
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so much cooler online, which is pretty much the case.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. I mean, that remains to be seen, because like maybe if I meet you in person one day, I can tell you otherwise. But for right now, you've been pretty cool online. So
I always need concert buddies. That's why I put it on my Snapchat the other day. Who's going to Barefoot Country Fest in Wildwood? Because I decided I wasn't going to go, and now I'm like, but live music's live music. I can't miss out on it. I wasn't going to go because Nashville's going to be expensive, but like, money comes back.
Eventually.
Money comes back.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Yeah.
I might be living in a box, but at least I went to a couple festivals.
Oh yeah, these day jobs really do help us out, though. Honestly, for more live music.
Hey, listen, if I could find a way to, and like we've talked about, if I
Hmm.
could find a way to get paid just to listen to country music, which essentially, once you do enough TikTok, it does.
Hmm.
It slowed down for me quite substantially, but back in the day when I was really picking up, it was great. Um, if I could find a way to do it, then that'd be awesome.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, well, I tell you what. Until next time, um, keep up with me. Let me know what's going on, and all the listeners out there, make sure you're following Brenden online because I'm sure he's going to post some pretty amazing stuff from Nashville. And
I'm gonna post too much stuff in
too
Nashville.
much stuff, yeah, for sure. You heard it here with Leigh and Coda Country. We'll see you around.